Riders, welcome back to Sam's Bikes, where you know we only talk e-bikes. And today, super excited, got Marshall Mullen on again, who's a professional stunt rider for Specialized. We're talking Kenevo SL, Levo Gen 3, Kenevo, which is the best one if you could have one, and loads more. And unfortunately, Sam's Bikes e-talk section doesn't have a sponsor right now. If you know anyone, let me know. I'd love to work with some great brands. And I kind of thought that I would, plug some of my mates in Madrid that have done it pretty hard with COVID. We did Track MTV last week with Jorge and Alvaro doing amazing tours in Madrid. And this week, a mate of mine, Kike, who runs Your EMTV, he set up a company like a year and a half ago, so pretty much as COVID started, renting high-end e-bikes in Spain. It's an amazing service and a great idea that Kike's got. And basically, let's say you're coming to Barcelona or Valencia or Madrid, Kike will have the bike couriered to your apartment, Airbnb apartment, hotel, or wherever, and it comes all set up, ready to go. I think it's a great service and very reasonable prices. Don't bring your e-bike on the plane, rent one from him. It's loads easier. But if you do want to bring your own bike, Kike also rents batteries. I think he does Shimano, Bosch, and Bros. So, you got two options there. Anyway, riders, I hope you enjoy eTalk with Marshall Mullen. Let's get into it. Marshall Mullen, welcome back to eTalk. We're so happy to have you. How you been, bro? What's been going on?
Sam, thank you for having me on again. Appreciate it. Love your show.
Oh, worries,
things
mate.
are good. Yeah, everything's been very good. I've actually been riding a lot recently and riding the new bike and just got done with a film project and everything's good. I'm super into bikes right now.
You've been digging holes, big holes.
I've
You've been making some seriously big jumps, man. What have you been doing?
Yeah, so I went out and filmed this video out on my grandma's property. It's a pretty crazy story. You want to hear the story?
Yeah. Tell me. Yeah. Go on.
Okay.
Tell me.
Okay. So my grandma owns this piece of property that's about 2.5 hours. It's this small town called Tehachapi. It's about 2.5 hours away from here.
Yep.
And she bought it like 60, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 years ago, something like that. So it's been in the family forever. And she used to live in the house that I'm in right now. She built this house. And so a long time ago, there was this threat of, I think, a big bomb threat in LA. So we're just outside of the city of LA.
Yep.
And so a lot of people were kind of worried about it. And so her reaction to that was she went out to this town called Tehachapi. She heard an ad on the radio that there were properties for sale, and so she got in her little Volkswagen Bug and went out there and bought this piece of property kind of on a whim and just sort of as like an escape, in case the city got blown up.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's the story. She didn't even look at the property. She just went out and bought it. It was like 20 acres for $20,000 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah. And anyways, it's been in the family forever. And I kind of grew up there doing all kinds of things. And so I had this idea for a long time. I was like, man, I need to come up here and because it's private property, we can do whatever we want. I was like, I need to build a big jump line and film up here. It's super cool. It's really scenic and pretty in the trees. And so I've kind of thought about it for a long time. And over the years of going up there, I'm like, okay, I have to make this happen. So anyways, that's what we did. We finally made it happen. We went up for our first build trip.
Have you filmed anything?
Yeah. So we went up, we broke it into 2 trips. We did the first trip. I brought 2 of my friends with me, and it was sort of a build trip, brought the tractors up and dug a bunch of holes and cut down, dead trees and built the line. And then 2 weeks later, we went back with the film crew and filmed the whole thing.
Nice.
So it's actually going to be a video for Fox suspension. So it'll be cool.
Oh, nice. Something new's coming, maybe?
Nothing new. No.
Okay.
Just fun stuff.
All right. So we're talking about the Kenevo SL. You've been riding it. I've been riding it. So I just thought, let's talk about it. So how have you found it?
Cool.
Hang on first. Let's just if other people don't know what Marshall does, Marshall is, you explain what you do with Specialized.
So I kind of do a lot. I'm an athlete for Specialized. I've been with them. I think this is my 9th year with them. I started off kind of doing dirt jumps. I built a bunch of jumps in my yard, and that's kind of what got me started with them. Um, so I kind of rode jumps and then transitioned to the trail bikes, and then I was kind of burnt out a couple years ago, and I was almost done riding bikes. I was over it, and then e-bikes came out, and then I just went all in on e-bikes. I was so excited about them, and that's really what kept me with Specialized and kept me in the sport, and I was just fired up on it. So
Yeah,
it's
man.
kind of brought in a whole new wave of energy for me. Yeah.
And tell us about your stable. What have you got? What's your bike lineup now?
All right, so I just added the Kenevo SL. So now I got 4 e-bikes going. We got the S-Works Levo and the Levo SL, and
Yeah.
then I've had the Kenevo for a while, the standard one, and then I just got the Kenevo SL. So it's kind of cool. Now I got all 4 of them. You can mix them up, and I know them all pretty well now.
Yeah, if you want to hear a sad story, today I had to take the Levo SL back.
Really?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
your bike. You love that thing.
I know. I said, can't you take something else back? Well, not really, because I've finished testing on the Levo SL, so it makes sense. They want to give it to another tester. I was like,
Yeah.
that's all right. But I was like, hey, tell me a price. Like, give me a good price on this one. This one's quite used. I don't think you're gonna want to sell this one.
Yeah.
But no,
But you have the Kenevo SL now, right?
Yeah.
Or not. Yeah. The Kenevo SL. Yeah.
I've got the Kenevo SL. Tell me what you think of the Kenevo SL. I'm a fan. It's definitely. I didn't think I was going to be a fan, but I'm a fan. So tell me, what sort of Ks have you done on it so far, and how you finding it?
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the bike. It was kind of a weird thing, actually. I'm like you. I loved the Levo SL. It was all about it. And then I got the Kenevo SL. I was like, man, I'm gonna love this bike. And so I went into it with a good kind of attitude towards it. And I went out on the first ride, and to be honest, I wasn't psyched on it. I didn't really like it. I don't know what it was. It felt big, and I was like, man, do I have the wrong size? I'm not. It was all right. I just didn't love it. And then I went on a second ride, and kind of same thing. I was like, the seat just seemed in the way, but I was like, I'm gonna keep going. And then I went on a third ride one time, and it was so weird, Sam. I've never had this happen. Something just completely flipped. I didn't change anything on the bike. Completely flipped, and I'm like, this is the best bike I've ever ridden. So I think I just had to kind of wrap my head around the fact that it's long. It's a long wheelbase and a long cockpit. And once I figured that out and accepted it, it was game on. Love it.
Yeah. No, that's
What
good.
about you?
For me, I wasn't a fan of the idea at all. I didn't think it was necessary, that bike. But my wife pointed out it's probably not for me. It's probably for someone that's younger. It's a party boy's bike. It's a pretty big, hard hitting bike, and I knew that I was probably going to have to give my Levo SL back, and I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to even get involved in that testing. But I had to do it. Not I had to do it. I wanted to do it, but it wasn't something I was really that excited about. Anyway, getting on it, I just did back to back like a whole week of testing. But I did bike park and my local trail center. But I rode both the bikes, the Levo SL and the Kenevo, back to back at the same time. Same tires, not the same brakes, but same tires, Schwalbe tires. Shout out to Schwalbe, the sponsor, legends. And you know what sealed the deal? Traction. The Kenevo's got more traction. At your local trails where how fast you can go at your local trails, you really know those trails. And I came around the first, a long left, and I was hitting it on the Kenevo. And then I swapped over to the Levo, and I hit it at the same speed, and I had both front and back wheel sliding. And it's just that little bit longer chainstay, just that little bit longer gave me more planted. And I've been riding that trail for 8 years. I put on a personal best on the Kenevo.
Really?
And it's 8 seconds slower than the national champion here. So not that far off it. and
Yeah.
I was blown away, man. Super fast bike.
I hear you. I agree. It's definitely fast. I mean, I think you saw I put a little video out on my Instagram. I was ripping down. I actually got a bunch of messages from people who
I'm gonna
know
put
that
that.
trail, and they're
I'm gonna
like,
put that
"Huh?
on, man. I'm gonna put that on here right now when we're talking because that was mind
Yeah."
blowing. You were so fast,
So
far out.
check this out, down. That's I ripped down that trail, and I got to the bottom, and I was like, wow. I mean, that was quick, and I actually got a lot of messages from people after I posted that who know that trail, and they're like, what what the heck? How did you do that? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But it's the bike. It's because it's so long and it's so stable, and that's what I'm saying in the video. I'm like, wow, it's really long and it's really stable. You can feel it's planted. That it really does good.
Yeah, it's by far a race bike. Um, Now, what have you done to it? Have you spec'd it out a little bit? I do see you've
Yeah,
changed it.
it's I did change a couple of things. I swapped out the fork for a factory 38, just because I like the color. Color was cool. It's got the pistachio color. So it's basically the same fork. And then I put a Fox dropper on the back, which is great. I love that dropper. It's super smooth and yeah, it works really good. Um, and then I put a set of carbon Revolve wheels on it.
Yep,
I think it's a Revolve SL wheel set.
yep.
And then I put the SRAM Axis Eagle, so it's electronic shifting on it,
Nice.
and then DD bars and stem and all that. So
So
it's not too different from
basically it's an
what?
S-Works, almost. It's almost an S-Works,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah,
I took
yeah,
an expert and made it. Yeah, but as
yeah,
far as geometry and sizes and width and suspension, all that, it's factory. I mean, it's the way it comes stock. It's
yeah.
so good the way it's set up out of the box.
And, we spoke about it last time, the pricing, obviously the S-Works is an expensive bike, but I was happy to see that,
Yeah,
Specialized released the Expert this time. So we got not one under
yeah,
10,000,
yeah,
which is still really well spec'd, like it's a,
yeah,
I mean, you're not getting the Kashima, but you're still getting
yeah,
performance and they're pretty much the same. So
yeah. But I mean,
it's the same
the
internals.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So,
It,
what about geo settings?
so I actually have not messed with the geo setting that much. I still have it the way it comes out of the box, which is low in the back and center in the front.
Mhm.
There's three positions in the front, just the neutral center one. I
Yep.
haven't changed anything yet on the Kenevo SL because I really like it. On the Levo, the new Levo, I've gone through all the settings. I've done every possible combination you can think of, but I haven't done. And on both bikes, I have it low on the back and center in the front, and that seems to be what I like the most. So I actually haven't played around with the settings on the Kenevo SL yet. Have you?
Just just for the people watching out there, the Kenevo SL and the Levo Gen 3, you can change it from low to high at the back, and also can change the headset cup from slack to middle to, I don't know.
Yeah.
So on the Kenevo, it's like 62 and a half, 63 and a half, 64 and a half. I haven't had any pedal strikes, but I know a few people that have been commenting on the channel. They're saying that
Yeah.
it might benefit from shorter cranks. But I personally haven't, but
So
I
yeah,
haven't.
yeah, no. So on that subject, it's funny you said that. Same thing. I have it low on the back, and then the Kenevo. What are they? I think they're 170s that come on the bike.
Hang on, what size did you go for? Because it might be size specific
I'm
as
an
well.
I'm an S4,
You're an S4. And how tall are you?
5'10".
5'10". You're in an S4. That's
I like a big bike.
yeah, that's yeah. I'm 5'10". I'm like 5'11", 5'11 and a half. I went for the S4. So I think they're 170s. Pretty
I
sure they're
think they're
170s.
170s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and um the S Works Levo, the latest Gen 3, I think, is they're 160s.
160s, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they're really short. And it's funny because ever since the first gen e-bike that came out, I was like, short cranks, short cranks, short cranks, you know, and my buddy and I were experimenting with short cranks, trying to get super short, and everyone thought I was crazy. And now the latest Levo comes with the 160s. And so funny you were saying about hitting the pedal strike. I actually did that on the first ride on my Kenevo SL with these longer cranks. So I haven't put them on yet, but I just ordered. You can get from Praxis. It's the same company that makes those cranks.
Yep.
I got the short 160s in carbon that will fit on the SL motor, and I'm going to put that on there. So that's not the way it comes out of the box, but I'm going with the super short ones, and I think it's going to be good. That's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that I'm going to do.
I haven't. My mate actually took it out for a spin the other day, and
Yeah,
everyone loves to have a look at it, and I appreciate their
yeah,
opinion as well. And he said, "No, pedal strike straight away." I haven't,
yeah,
but he did.
yeah,
And what do you?
yeah.
I do have sizing there, so we just spoke about that. I reckon looking at I didn't even get the sizing chart. Um, I was actually when they asked what size I wanted. I said probably I don't know, an S4. That sounds about right. And
Mhm.
I probably might experiment with an S3. I
Yeah,
think.
I hear you. I think the sizing's kind of weird on this bike because I was looking at the numbers. If you look at so so take me for example. I'm on an S3. Sorry, correction. I'm on an S4 Levo. So I
Yes.
figured with the Kenevo SL, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get an S4, and I got on it, and it felt big. I like it now, but it is big. It's bigger. So if you go and look at the numbers, the S4 Kenevo SL is longer in the top tube cockpit area than the S4 Levo. It's bigger.
Yeah.
But if you were to take the Kenevo SL and jump down a size to an S3, now it's shorter than the Levo. So it's
Yeah.
kind of confusing, but it's a weird thing. It's a bigger bike, so if you get your normal size, it's going to feel big. But if you jump down a size, I think it's going to be a little too small for what you're used to. So just keep that for your listeners here. Kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah.
It's
No,
it's a big bike, so you
I
be
mean,
careful.
as we recommend and talk to people a lot about this stuff. Anyone that can go and sit on one, definitely sit on one.
Yeah, you have to
Right.
do that.
Yeah, because they are. It's each their own. Like I probably wouldn't size down because it's an enduro bike, and
Mhm.
typically I like a long enduro bike and a short trail bike, and I'm
Yeah,
happy with both the sizes. I do find it a little bit interesting to go back and forth on both of them because the size difference and my weight needs to be in a different spot for traction. I need to be just
totally.
and for me
Ex-
that's hard. That's hard going back and forth. But no, they're both.
No, I totally agree with you 100%. I'm feeling the same thing. It's not
Mm.
bad. It's not a game stopper, but I'm with you on that. It's weird to go back and forth
You
between the two.
getting a buzzed ass?
No, I'm not. Are you?
Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Right
went out
on.
to the bike park and I was doing the black run there, and yeah, I got some good lashings. I got a
Nice.
couple where I was almost jumping over the handlebars, like it really pushed me forward. Which
Wow.
I think it's probably the 170 suspension, and I'm
Hmm.
just getting the wheels just coming up a little bit higher than I'm used to. I'm sure it's just bike body position. And saying that, towards the end of the day, I did start to get used to it, and I was getting less.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Maybe it's
haven't got that yet. I don't know what that is. I haven't got that yet.
yeah. I didn't get that on the Levo SL at all. So the only thing I can
Yeah.
think of it is just the longer stroke and the wheels coming higher.
Yeah.
Maybe. Um,
Yeah.
are you thinking of going a mullet?
I thought about it. Thought about it. I haven't done it. Um, I think this bike could potentially be good for it. Found it's a little weird when you take a 29 bike and that's 29 front and rear from the factory and drop it down to a smaller size in the back.
Yep.
It's a little weird. It works when you take like the standard Kenevo. What I did is it comes 27.5 and I bumped the front up to a 29.
Yeah.
That works. It seems to be weird to me when you drop the wheel size in the back smaller. So I'm a little afraid to do it.
Yeah, it's I think for me, I'm definitely going to give it a go, and it definitely opens up a lot of possibilities with the geo changes because you can go on the Kenevo. I'm pretty sure in the high setting is where you'd want to be with the mullet.
Right.
So bringing
Right.
the bottom bracket higher actually
Yeah.
makes the chain stay shorter.
Yeah.
So you're going to make it. You're going to give it more of a handling of a Levo SL, I think.
Right.
So I'm going to give that a go, and also I think my ass is asking for that as well. So I'll try that. I'll see how that goes. I tried the
Yeah.
Levo SL the other day as a mullet, and just because everyone asked me to do it, and I didn't think it was a bike that really needed it at all, and it doesn't need it at all. It's way better as a
It
20.
doesn't need it.
Nah, it's better
Yeah.
as a 29er.
Yeah. I
That's
hear you.
if you could only, so you got the Levo SL, the Kenevo SL, the Levo, and the Kenevo.
Mhm.
Your one bike that does it all. Which one's it going to be? If you could only, especially I said, sorry, mate, budget cuts. You're only getting one.
All right. Out of all four, definitely the standard Levo.
The Gen 3.
Could be
Yeah,
an
yeah,
S-Works Levo. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that bike, it just does everything. I mean, it feels so good. That's it. You know, one of my good friends who we grew up riding together, he recently got one. You know, he kind of went away from bikes for a while, and he came back. I was like, dude, you have to get one of these things, and just paid list price for it. You know, and went out and bought it. And he called me a couple of days later, and he's like, Marshall, this is the best mountain bike I've ever ridden in my life. It is. The bike
Yeah.
is incredible.
Yeah,
But that's not to say the other ones aren't as good at all in any way. They're just a little bit different. I mean, that one, the Levo, you can ride anything with that bike.
you can ride I ride with. Oh, I wouldn't say we're a really fast group of riders, but we're all right. Like we can ride pretty good.
Yeah.
And on the Gen 3, I'm normally, me and two other mates are normally the same speed, similar speed.
Yeah.
Like we're pretty
Yeah.
much on the trail. And the other day, Savvy was like, dude, I cannot keep up with you on the Levo. Like
Yeah.
you're just faster,
It's
a
crazy.
lot faster.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it is I really like how the Levo, the Gen 3, just pulls into corners and holds traction off camber. It's just like
Yeah. It's
really,
that bike is very well made.
yeah,
It's in
definitely.
that thing is really in a class of its own.
Back to the Kenevo, would you change anything?
The Kenevo or the Kenevo SL?
Sorry, the Kenevo SL. Yeah.
Um, I don't think so yet. I'm pretty happy with the way it comes. I mean, these bikes from Specialized are just getting better and better and better out of the box, you know. And I don't think I would really change anything. I mean, it depends on what model you get. If you get an Expert, I love the Axis stuff, so I put that stuff on. But and you know, it's always good to go with the factory suspension. But I mean, all those things are just kind of like little enhancements that you can do
Yeah.
just to make it that much better. But um, as far as changing wheel size or suspension or geometry or anything like that, I mean, I don't think so. It comes very good.
Mm. There's
What about you?
two things that caught me out a little bit. One is the high speed rebound. It's quite difficult to get to. You need to almost take out the shock. Um,
Yeah,
but I don't. That's definitely not Specialized's fault because before this bike would have been in development for a long time, and Fox has moved that. Fox has moved that
yeah,
on that shock, and so
yep.
that's definitely something that it's out of the hands of Specialized.
I
Uh,
think you're right.
I would be speaking to SRAM very kindly and asking them to make a shorter dropper. The dropper,
Oh,
yeah, the dropper needs
that's
to go down like a little bit more.
I didn't even think of that. I totally agree with you, big time.
Yeah.
That's a problem for me. I started taking out seat posts and even looking at older Fox ones and measuring them. And I just ordered this spacer because I kind of found one that's a little bit shorter. And I hear you.
What, just for the viewers, what have you ordered? Just so people are looking for it.
So
What have
I
you
got
found?
so the I can't remember the exact length of the old one, but I have a an older Fox transfer post
Uh-huh.
that is a little bit shorter in drop. So the ones I have now are 175. This must be, I don't know what it is. It's probably like a
50.
160 or
Yeah, 150.
165,
Yeah.
150,
Yeah.
150. Okay. Um, and that one, not the Kashima dropper part, but below that, the part that goes into your bike,
It's
the post
smaller.
part of
Yeah.
it is shorter
Yeah.
than the current models. And so what that allows you to do is slide the post into the frame further because the seat tube on the frame is interrupted by the shock.
Yeah.
So once you get a shorter one, you can slide it in further, and which will lower your seat a little bit. So anyways, the spacer that I ordered is that older post was, I can't remember the exact number, but it's narrower
Mm-hmm.
in diameter, so it doesn't fit into the frame. So it's a little shim that makes that smaller size post fit into the big frame.
And it works.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
totally.
Sweet, sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, when I went to the bike park for 2 reasons. One, I didn't wanna ruin the access, because exactly where you put the
yeah.
bike on the chairlift is exactly where the
Uh-huh.
battery is, and I just thought it's not a good idea. I just
Yeah,
had a spare seat, for park riding and just keep it in the camper
yeah,
van. Hey, did you
yeah.
see the
Which is
camper
great.
van?
I did see the camper van. You keep sending me these pictures. It's like, man, now I'm gonna have to get out there.
Did you see the camper van? Sam, stop sending everyone photos of the camper van, please. Yeah, no,
Just please.
I'm
I just want
excited,
everyone to
man.
know about once a month I get a picture from Sam with his camper van. Get your ass out here.
Come for a trip, mate. Come for a trip.
Yeah.
I was talking to Rob Wright. Do you know he's a
Okay.
British
Yeah.
YouTuber?
Hmm.
I was speaking to him last week, and I told him about our idea, and he's up for it. So
Really?
Madrid, man, Madrid. We're gonna do very similar to like what your mate did with Hans Ray. They did
Yeah.
LA Trans LA.
Hmm.
We're going to do Trans Madrid because Madrid is
No
you
way.
basically start. So Madrid in the north of Madrid is the mountain range. So you're
Hmm.
45 minutes to really nice trails, and then at the end you go to these little towns, and we'll have lunch, and we'll each day we'll eat different food. I'll explain the area. I think it'll be really
Wow.
interesting, and the
This could
writing's
be really
amazing, bro.
cool.
So he said he was keen. So we should organise something.
We should do it, and we'll just get a big film crew or small one. And
Definitely, we don't. I mean, yeah, bring a film crew. That's all right. Yeah, I've got my GoPro.
uh,
That does me.
all
Yeah,
right, that
yeah.
would be
No,
fun.
sounds good. What? Okay, this is a bit of a good question. You've ridden everything now that Specialized has had. If they came to you and asked you, all right, because you know how to ride a bike really well and you've ridden everything, what's your dream bike look like? How would you spec it out? Would it be a super light? Would it be a full fat? What would the geo numbers? Would it be a mullet? How would Marshall make his dream bike?
All right, here's what I think I would do. The Levo's almost there.
Yeah,
It's almost there. But if I could have one, it'd be a dream bike. I like the bigger motor. So
yep,
I would like to, and I like the suspension, the rear suspension on the Kenevo SL.
yep,
Got that enduro linkage there. I would
yep.
like to be able to cram, and I know it's not really possible right now or they wouldn't have done it, but I'd like to find a way to get a big motor in the same Kenevo SL frame set
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm a fan of bigger and longer bikes. It's just personal preference. It's just what I like.
yep.
I like the suspension design on that bike, but I like the bigger motor better. I mean, I do. It's just the weight doesn't bother me and the bigger battery and all that. So it would be cool to kind of blend the Levo and Kenevo SL into one big motor with that suspension. I'd love that.
And would you be going a mullet?
Mm, I think so. Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, yeah, no, it's
yeah.
yeah, definitely. I don't know. Okay,
I'm not sold on that,
what about
but I
geo
think a mullet.
numbers? What about geo numbers? What's your change there? What's your
Um,
headset? Oh, well, it doesn't really matter because it all changes now anyway with all their flip chips.
it all changes. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with what I think. I like the Kenevo SL.
Yep.
And
Okay.
here's the thing: if you get the big motor, if you take even the Kenevo, right, not the SL, the standard big motor, big battery Kenevo, that thing climbs just as well as any bike I have. So it it doesn't really. It's almost like you can just design the bike for going down what you
You
want
don't.
going down because they climb so well. People are always asking me which one do I get? Like, say, do I get the Levo SL or the Kenevo SL? And you really have to look at your personal preference and what you like. Some people like that shorter, more nimble, less travel bike, which would be the Levo SL. And some people, like me, like more travel. They like the big, long bike. And even if you have the same trail, the same terrain, and you're just looking at two different bikes, the question is kind of for yourself: which do I like more? There's not one that's necessarily better than the other. And so I think that's the most important thing to think about when you're deciding between bikes, and take into consideration, what am I riding? If you live next to a bike park and you're going to be ripping bike park laps and you like a big bike, a Kenevo is going to be better for you. But if
Yeah.
ride a lot of, like, for example, I was just out on my Kenevo SL the other day, and I did this trail with a buddy, and it was a little more flat and single track and had a lot of really tight turns on it. I mean, really tight. The bike sucked on it. It was too long for that trail. So look around you. If you have a lot of tight switchback trails around you, you're going to be better off on the Levo for sure.
That's really
So
good advice. Buy a bike for where you ride, not for where you
exactly.
think you ride. Because
Yeah.
everyone
Or
thinks, "Oh,
what
I'm
bike
gonna
is,
ride here," and you don't ride there
yeah,
very often.
totally.
It's
And people are like, hey, it'll send me messages. Hey, you could have one bike, what would it be? Or which bike should I get? Should I get Kenevo or Levo? It's like, I don't know. They're both good, but you got to think about what you like and where you're going to ride. That's the
yeah.
most important
No,
thing.
exactly. What
Yeah.
I found was interesting was, I'm 41 and
Mm.
I found the Kenevo a little bit scary. Like,
Yeah, because
it
it's aggressive.
and no, it's just far like it just picks up speed really fast and it
Hmm.
allows me to go out of my comfort zone and
Yeah.
it allows me to go really fast and it's like far out. I think I'm going to get in trouble on this bike because it's like it's letting me go too fast. Where the Levo is a bit more, the
Yeah.
Levo SL is a bit more nimble, and also for jumping, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the Levo SL over jumping because I did like I would say like 6 to 7 meter doubles on the Kenevo and the Levo,
Yeah.
and I came up short on the Kenevo. You need to pull more on the Kenevo.
Really.
Yep,
Yeah. See, but I mean, I agree with you. It's kind of going back to what I'm saying. It's all what you're riding and personal preference. And,
totally,
some people like that. I like it.
totally. Well, if you have you got a cat there. I saw you
We
got a
got a
dog
little,
as well. You got a puppy.
yeah, I got a little puppy.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah,
Him
we're
or
going to be good
her?
friends. Him.
Him. What's his name?
His name is Whiskey,
Whiskey.
and
Nice.
he's a, how old is he now? I think he's 16 weeks, maybe,
There's a Labrador.
something like
No,
that. No, a golden retriever.
golden retriever. Yeah,
Yeah,
very cute.
he's baby.
Very
Yeah.
cute. We're in the market for a puppy. We're going to do that pretty soon.
Well,
It's we
it's so fun.
at my house at the moment. I have a Kenevo SL, a Levo SL, No, Levo SL's gone. I had that this morning. I've got a Trek Rail.
Yeah.
I've got a
Okay.
Commensal Meta Power. I've got a new bike that maybe I can say. Yeah, I can say because that bike's going to be out. That video is going to be out next week. I just built I sent you a photo, I'm sure. I built a custom Klein.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
It's
sick.
so cool.
That's my favorite
So
bike, and it
cool.
costs like $700, man. It was like, oh,
So
super cheap.
how does it work? Does it work good?
It's all right. It's all right. So I contacted I wanted to get a minimalistic e-bike kit, and
Yeah.
I wanted to build a retro e-bike for my wife because I didn't want
Yeah.
another really expensive mountain bike in the car, in the van, in the
Yeah.
camper van, and
Yeah.
I couldn't stomach buying an ugly crap e-bike for
Yeah.
$1,000. So I thought,
Yeah.
let's just buy an old vintage and
Yeah.
I'll convert it. So I found a nice conversion kit in China. They sent it
Yeah.
out to me, and they gave me the motor in return to make a
Yeah.
video. And I haven't tested the motor yet that well. Like, I've gone for a little spin, but it goes. I mean, it's not a
Yeah.
Levo.
Mhm.
It's $400, so you kind of got to expect what you're going to get. But it seems like for my wife that she stated very clearly that she's never going to do downhill or enduro, and the most she's going to do is ride some very tame single trails. Um,
Yeah.
it's enough. So
Yeah.
and
It's
it's
super cool.
yeah, and for us, it's like, oh, man, it's having the risk of having two really expensive bikes in the camper van.
Yeah.
Um,
You gotta send me that video when it comes out.
Oh, definitely, definitely. It's going to be out next Sunday. I've shot it. It's been
Okay.
really busy, man. I've just shot 4 videos back to back, and it's
Oh
been
my
crazy.
God.
I'm gonna
Crazy.
tell you my dream bike. How
Okay.
I would build it. I reckon the Levo's getting close. I reckon
Okay.
I would like to see it 170, 160. I'd
170,
like
160.
I would like
Okay.
to see it a little bit more suspension. I'd like to see it with a full powered e-bike. I think the super light e-bikes they have their place and they are really good, but they're quite limiting for a lot of people. Just to if they've got one bike, it's quite limiting to go and ride with full powered e-bikes. Like you need to be
Hmm.
very fit. So
Yeah.
I'd go full power, and I
Yeah.
also would. I reckon I'd cut the batteries. I reckon I would. I reckon 650, 700 is enough. I don't think we
Hmm.
need more than that. And I would
I agree.
try and cut the batteries in half,
Hmm.
and I would try
Have
and have
two.
two connections inside the down tube,
Yeah.
and
That would be
and
cool.
and have the weight. So have one battery, like a small little block, have that as your main battery, and have it right down near the bottom bracket. So you take the weight off the front of the
Yeah.
forks. So the
Yeah.
weight's right at the bottom. And suspension
Yeah.
kinematics for me, look, the Kenevo's good, but I don't think they're going to be
Hmm.
able to make that work in a full powered. Maybe they will.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you.
geo numbers, I'd like to see I mean, especially on the high end, the S works and stuff like that. I'd like to see two chainstays. I'd like to see a 29er and a 27 chainstay.
Wow.
Be able to change it up.
You've thought about this, huh?
Yeah, a lot,
I
man.
was just going simple. I'm like, look, I want that motor in this frame. You're like, I want to redo everything.
I mean,
I don't disagree with you though.
that's my dream. You know, that would be how I would, as a
Yeah.
as a purist. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I have no engineering degree, or I've got no idea what I'm talking about
Yeah.
really. But that would just be, I just, I like the idea of getting that weight down
Yeah.
because um, I don't think necessarily I need a 700-watt battery
Yeah.
because
I agree. I actually
I,
want to get a smaller one in my Levo.
yeah, I'm reasonably. I mean, I'm getting a fair bit fitter, and I'm reasonably fit, and I go out and I generally have like 50% battery power left when I get back.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I would like just to have a smaller battery and a lighter
Yeah.
bike.
I agree. I agree.
If they could bring that in to 20 kilos on the Levo with a with a or yeah, 20 kilos for the Levo, a little bit more suspension, 2 batteries,
Yeah.
changeable chainstay.
So one thing I've seen that we both kind of agree on here is we want bigger, more suspension. I mean, and I from the beginning I've been like, yeah, I mean, e-bikes you can go big with them. You know, kind of
Yeah,
more travel the better.
yeah. They're like motorbikes, man. Like you
Yeah,
know,
totally.
the things you can get away with on those bikes is just
Yeah,
ridiculous. Like they're pushing the it's scary, man. It's
but
a little bit
it's
scary.
cool. I mean, bigger tires, bigger brakes, bigger suspension. It's all that, and you can still climb walls on it, so it makes
Now
sense.
the EWS is on, mate. If you want to come, September.
With the van trip,
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'll get in trouble with Bear. You'll have to find something to do for 2 weeks because after the EWS,
Okay.
I promised her 2 weeks in Italy with no mountain bikes.
Okay.
So, so
I don't want to get you in trouble.
it can be 2 weeks after that, but
Yeah.
we're doing something without bikes. So that's fair enough.
Well, we'll look into it. I actually don't know. I wonder if I can travel over there.
Oh,
We'll
you can.
we'll find out.
You definitely
You
can
can.
because everyone's here, man. There's
Okay.
Spain's open,
Okay.
and I mean, if you want to come, Finale Laguda would be the one I would go to because the
Yeah.
riding's really good there and it's really nice. And you know,
Yeah.
I could pick you up from one of the airports. I could pick
Yeah.
you up probably from Milan, I would say. I don't know
Okay.
Italy that well, but I could pick you up. It's not that far. Um, yeah,
Okay.
and that's the
Well, I'm gonna look
18th.
into it.
That's the 18th of September, and yeah, and then yeah, October's a good time to ride. But as I said,
Okay.
I'll be a little bit out of action the last couple of weeks.
I think we should
Um,
shoot for October. Yeah.
yeah, well, definitely. Well, I don't think I have any more questions, mate.
All
Just give
right.
me a wrap up with the Kenevo. Would you buy it? Is it your favorite super light?
Definitely my favorite super light. Definitely would buy it. But like I said before, you got to take a look at yourself, what riding style and preference you have, and what kind of terrain you're going to be riding. You're going to be hammering out big, steep bike park style laps. Bike's probably going to be great for you.
Yeah.
If you want something that's all around, can hang with other e-bikes, the Levo's better. If you like a lighter, smaller switchback e-bike, Levo SL is better. So
Who
definitely love the bike, but you got to look at it.
who do you think Specialized was marketing to with this bike?
I think, um, I think I call the SLs the halfway e-bikes.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the full power, but they're still an e-bike. So I think it's kind of bridging the gap between a normal bike and an e-bike. And so there's a big group of riders out there who don't really want to go make the transition into an e-bike,
Yeah.
but they're kind of interested. So it's bridging the gap. It's the halfway e-bike. It's for the aggressive riders who want to try the e-bike thing. But you know, the power, it really doesn't keep up fully with a big power e-bike. You know, some people say, "Can I get that and keep up with everyone else?" The answer is kind of no. You can, but it's hard. I mean,
If you're the fittest guy in your group, then you can, but you're going to suffer. If you're like average in your
it,
group, you definitely can't.
yeah,
And if you're the slowest in the group,
exactly.
definitely no way. It's not a good idea.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
uh, I
Yeah,
I reckon if they're going to get anyone, like I reckon they were trying to market the younger kids. I reckon like the Kenevo SL is really put right in the market for someone that's maybe 25 to 35 that rides hard enduro that just wants to go
mhm,
downhill, man. And
yeah,
someone that is riding maybe an SB 150 or a Specialized
yeah,
enduro or a Trek Slash, something like that. And then they're like,
yeah,
"Ooh, look at this, man! This is going to get me going up twice as much." Yeah. So it's
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
well, we're very lucky guys and riders out there. If you have any questions for Marshall or me, hit me up and hit him up, and make sure you subscribe to his channel. His last video on the Kenevo SL was bloody scary and fast. And mate, thanks so much, and make it happen. Let's do the Madrid thing. Like, definitely let me know.
Okay.
Put some dates in, and I mean, speak
Yeah.
to whoever you guys speak to if you want to do a camera thing, a camera crew. I mean, I could probably
Okay.
organize the camera guys here. I know some people.
Okay.
I am a photographer.
Yeah.
So
Let's use your guys.
yeah,
Totally.
it's
Yeah.
and it will be cheaper and probably easier. And they have cars
Okay.
and everything like that. And you know, I think it would be like, yeah, I see it as like 5 days, 5 trails, five lunches, 5 experiences
Okay.
in Madrid.
I think it's great. We'll get Rob rides in there too. It'll be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. He said he was keen. As I had him on the
Okay.
channel last week, super nice guy, and
Okay.
he said the same. I'm pretty sure he was picking the Gen 3 as his bike.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
because he's got everything as well.
Yeah.
He's got the Kenevo, the Levo S. He's ridden everything.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
agreed. I reckon.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna look into it and let's plan it and we'll make it happen. We'll stop talking about it because we talk about it every time I get on
It's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen.
here. Yeah, it is.
Thanks,
Totally.
mate. And if you want to give a shout out to anyone, do it now. And yeah, it's great having you on.
All right. Yeah. Thanks to everyone. Specialized Fox and SRAM. Guys are awesome. Make the best bikes out there.
Definitely.
And everyone keep riding. It's only getting better.
Exactly. And COVID's over, guys. Ride your bikes even more.
COVID's over. Get out there. Go have fun. Live it up.
Exactly. All right, mate. We'll see you next time. And thanks for that. And
All
I'll
right.
speak to you
Cam,
soon.
good man.
See ya.